Whiskers of the Wild, The Lost Kitten's Journey.
The Father Who Never Stopped Calling. Story 24. The Memory of Warmth.
The cold came quietly. It crept in as the orange cat traveled farther west, slipping between the trees at night, settling into his bones when the sun disappeared behind the hills. The forest here was older, its shadows deeper, its silence heavier. Even the wind seemed careful as it moved, whispering rather than howling. The cold came quietly. It crept in as the orange cat traveled farther west, slipping between the trees at night, settling into his bones when the sun disappeared behind the hills. The forest here was older, its shadows deeper, its silence heavier. Even the wind seemed careful as it moved, whispering rather than howling. Hunger gnawed at him. His body ached from days of travel without rest. Yet it was not pain that pulled him into sleep. It was memory. He dreamed of warmth, not the weak warmth of sunlight or fur pressed against bark, but a living warmth, small and fragile, curled against his chest. In the dream, the world was quiet and whole. No storms, no rushing water, just the soft rhythm of breathing shared between two bodies. The kitten slept soundly, tucked beneath his chin. The orange cat lowered his head and licked the tiny fur gently, carefully, as if afraid the moment might shatter if he moved too quickly. He felt the kitten's heart beating, fast and new, full of trust. He remembered the smell, milk and rain, and something uniquely his. "I've got you," he whispered in the dream. "I won't let go." For a moment, the dream held. Then the wind rose. The sky darkened. The sound of rain returned, distant at first, then roaring. The ground trembled beneath his paws. The river surged back into being, wild and unforgiving, tearing through the dream like a wound reopening. The kitten slipped. The orange cat lunged, claws stretching, but his paws grasped only air. The kitten's cry cut through him, small, terrified, fading far too fast. Water swallowed everything. "No!" he screamed. He woke with a violent gasp, his body jerking upright, heart pounding so hard it hurt. The ancient tree loomed above him, silent and unmoving. Cold air filled his lungs. The forest stared back without comfort. For a long time he could not move. His chest tightened, breath hitching as the weight of memory pressed down on him. He lowered his head until it touched the earth. "I failed you," he whispered into the dirt. The words tasted bitter, heavy with guilt he had carried since the storm. He replayed the moment again, the slip, the splash, the helplessness. No matter how many days passed, it never softened. He had been strong, he had been careful, and it still hadn't been enough. The forest did not answer. It never did. Eventually, the orange cat rose, slowly, carefully. His legs trembled, but they held. He shook the leaves from his fur and lifted his head, eyes burning not with tears but with resolve. Regret could not be allowed to end the search. Memory could not be allowed to turn into surrender. He stepped away from the tree and looked west, where the land dipped into shadow and distance. Somewhere beyond those hills, beyond those rivers, his son lived. He felt it with a certainty deeper than thought. "I'm still coming," he said softly. The wind stirred the leaves as if carrying the words onward. The orange cat moved forward, carrying the memory of warmth not as a wound but as a fire, one that would not be extinguished. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next adventure. Your support means the world to us. Let's keep growing together.